Hi, Mr. Wisdom here. How's everybody today? So I'm going to talk today about different ways on how to fix this broken political system we have, the government we have on every level, from top to bottom. First, if you can, please like and subscribe, and let's hear some comments. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad, whatever comments you have. Keep them civil. Okay. So we can all agree that the way things have been for many decades in this country in terms of politics, government run things, is a nightmare. And we can't continue to go down this road. So it needs to be fixed. But how do you do it, right? So you can't just come up with any old way, especially not socialist, communist, Marxist. It's failed every time. So you need to have, and first of all, this is not a democracy. It's never been a democracy. And maybe we can try some actual democracy. Most people don't really know what democracy is. They think that if you vote for a person, that's democracy. That's the exact opposite of democracy. Democracy means governance by the people, not a representative, by the people, right? And so I'm Greek, I lived in Greece, studied democracy, befriended philosophers, and I've always been of that mindset of philosophy, psychology. And so what I've figured out is this. Okay, first of all, let me explain democracy. So in 507 BC, Athens, Greece, that was the one and only democracy. The way it worked was hired, not elected, hired 500 people to operate the day-to-day operations, so your tax collection, ports, roadworks, ag, all that stuff, to make sure that things were running properly throughout the whole state. And so we need something like that. Now, those people did not have any power to make law or even to go to war. All of that had to go to the people. They had the power, like all the regular people have, to petition for a law or to petition to get rid of a law or change it. But they couldn't just make a law and then we just have to deal with it. That's what we have now. So right now, they just Congress makes whatever law they want without asking us, without telling us even ahead of time, and we just have to deal with it. And if we try and change it, most of the time, you can't end up changing it. Even if you get the votes, they still don't change it. Or they don't. They put in some lawyer doublespeak to, still make it favor them in some way, and we don't really fully understand what it is. You don't need 1,100 pages for one law, right? It's ridiculous stuff like that, and 1,000 pages and some change, or lawyer doublespeak to just make everything confusing, so convoluted that nobody really fully understands what it's about. So then they can manipulate it. So here's how you do that. Number one, to fix this government, you pull all the powers from Congress. Their job is not to make law anymore. That is done now. They can petition for a law or to change one, but they cannot make law anymore. Their job is simply this. Their district that they work for, they're just basically like a district manager, and they oversee all the different facets of the government in that district to make sure everything's working right. Policing, fire, roadworks, make sure aquifers are full, and whatnot, waterworks, FEMA, FAA, all that stuff, right? So they just oversee to make sure those departments are running fine. And if not, then they work with the people who they need to make sure it is. And that's it. That's their job. What does that do? It immediately takes money right out of government, because the big corporations that manipulate our country, they can't do it anymore because the money's not going to do anything for them, because those people aren't politicians anymore. They can't do anything for them, right? That's monstrous right there. So much damage has been done by all these, big pharma and agra and oil and all this to this country, because they have so much influence on our politicians. That's one of the reasons why it's not a democracy, because of that. So that eliminates that completely. Then they don't get to make a law, and then we just have to deal with it. That's gone. So now any law that anybody wants, you do like we all do. You get enough signatures to put it on the ballot. Signatures have to be verified. And if it's on the ballot, and if it passes, that now becomes law. Or to change a law, or take away a law, right? You let the people vote on everything. For example, this Save America Act. We need to be voting on that, not Congress. Anyway, that's one huge thing right there. It goes a long way. Second most important thing is we need to defederalize probably 90, maybe as much as 95%, at least 90% of the federal government can be and needs to be defederalized. Now, what do I mean by defederalization? I mean, you take FAA, FDA, FEMA, Bureau of Land Management, on and on and on, out of D.C., out of the federal government's hand. Every state already has every single one of these entities. So every state can now just be in charge of their own. Now, they have to run them all exactly the same. You can't change anything. And you have to have just very good, very quick, thorough communication between all the states, which is super easy nowadays. And then the state's in charge of running all of those entities, and not the federal government. It saves a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of money, and time, right? Furthermore, you get rid of the post office, and you let, let's say, for example, UPS run the post office. You privatize it. That's, what is that, like $15 billion or something like that we spend every year on post office? Something ridiculous. It's billions. I don't remember the exact number. Don't quote me on that. Right? That's gone. And it'll probably be run a lot more efficiently and a lot better, too. Then you have Amtrak. We give them like $1.5 billion in federal. No, they don't need any money. That's a private company. They need to charge whatever they need to charge to make money. That's it. You don't get a penny. All the universities, no more money for you. Only the state colleges, and city colleges, they get the some state tax dollars, right, to make college cheap. So, what can we do with that? We can eliminate federal income tax for individuals. Individual federal income tax should be completely eliminated from that. Because all the federal government is going to be responsible for is all your national defense, your border, your Coast Guard, your military, NSA, FBI, CIA, all that stuff, and DOJ. And then, you still have your Supreme Court, and that's, judgeship and all the DC, things there. And the foreign policy, all your ambassadors and all that comes with that. And that's it. And you should be able to fund that just fine with your tariffs and your import-export tax and corporate tax and whatnot. That should be plenty to fund the federal government at that point. So imagine no federal income tax. That's huge for people. Now, your state tax may go up a little bit, depending on the state, because they might have a little bit extra work to do to watch over those entities a little bit more. But it wouldn't be that much, and you'd still be saving a ton of money, each taxpayer. And things will run smoother. They'll run faster, better. Also, you need to have mandatory, you have to work within the budget. If you don't have enough, so be it. Then you need to shave off some things from somewhere, or you need to find other ways other than raising taxes to generate revenue. But all the basic things that we all know that we need, your schools, your police, your fire, your road works, and those type of things, emergency work, FEMA and all that, those things need to be automatically funded. So whatever you need to generate the revenue to get that fully funded and a little extra for emergencies, and then that's all you do, right? If there happens to be some extra, then that should go off to pay debt, right? But you should never be able to, because now it's going to be, you're not elected, right? And I'm talking all of it. I'm not talking just Congress not elected. I'm talking everybody, from city council on up. It's a job that you apply for, right? So your governor of whatever state is basically like the CEO. They oversee everything. And so maybe you pay them a little bit more, but again, you're saving money from the federal income tax. So you could afford to do that and still get some good people. Excuse me. So what does it eliminate? It also eliminates your weirdos and your wackies and your AOCs and your Mondamis, and they wouldn't be able to, because they have to apply just like a job. No way those people get hired to run anything, type of management. No way. Right? So, and then like everybody else, in a regular job, you have monthly or quarterly performance reviews, and then annual. And if somebody's not cutting it, then they need to either fix any issues they have, or they need to go, and then you hire someone else. Just in a regular job, right? So I think with those, you'll fix a lot. Also, other things need to be run more efficiently to save us money. So state parks, national parks, charge whatever you need to charge to fund yourself. It shouldn't cost taxpayers any money. They charge for you to go in. If they don't charge, they should be charging scientists and whatnot, biologists and everybody that go in there to do their research and studies. They need to be charged, right? Charge them all. Also, no money for media outlets, any of them, NPR or any of them. No money for those things. Screw you. You don't need it. Go get your own money, no more wasted money on, it will eliminate for sure all that nonsense, these fake studies and giving money to foreign countries for ridiculous stuff that doesn't benefit us. It has to benefit the people, period. Otherwise, why are you doing it? So let's examine it. Let's go through it real quick. Eliminate any politicians from making the ability to make law. Right now, everybody can petition to make law and vote on it, and we simply go by the majority. Right? Takes the money out of Congress, out of politics, period. Right? And get rid of your post office, privatize it. Also privatize, go back to how it used to be, and make the TSA private. It costs us a ton of money, and it's not any better than what we had before. So before September 11th attack, it was private. We need to just go back to that. You can still keep air traffic controllers. That can be part of national security because it's very important. And then the security, you just need to have oversight, which you already have customs agents there at the airports and train stations and bus stations and whatnot. So they can have just people just watching over the private security and make sure everything's done properly. That's it, right? So those things will save us a lot of money. It all adds up, a few $100 million here, $1 billion here, and ends up being a ton of money. So no more federal income tax for private federal income tax, personal rather. And you might even be able to lower the income tax for businesses as well, but you have to take a look at that and see. But either way, that'll help us to work within. We must work within the budget, and that should hopefully give us money then to pay off this ridiculous debt instead of just barely paying the interest. Furthermore, at that point, I think basically you can just eliminate parties, Democrat Party, Republican Party, because it's not even necessary anyway. It doesn't do anything for you, right? At that point, so I think those ways, those things right there could go a long way. Now, of course, we all know that the politicians would be dead set against it. Nobody would vote for that. But it shouldn't be up to them. It should be up to us, we the people. And don't be swayed by these fork-tongued politicians, because they just look out for themselves. It doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican. The vast majority are just they're scum. They're out for themselves, their families, their friends, and the big donors. That's what they care about. Don't be fooled by any of them. Okay, I don't care, Democrat, Republican, Independent, whoever you are. 90%, I'm confident in saying they're thieves and butchers. They're worthless. They don't care what happens to the people. They're heartless creatures, right? Sometimes some of these people probably came in with a good heart, but then they saw all the corruption and saw, well, it's too hard to change from the within. I might as well get my own. And that's usually what happens. Or they leave quickly, if they're not that type of person, like a Jesse Ventura, he did one term and he was out because he saw how horrible it was. Anyway, so now I also have a way to help with crime, and it wouldn't cost the people any money. So, how you have silent alarms in businesses, and you have the little life alert thing, I've fallen, I can't get up, so you hit the button, and then help is on the way. And in prisons, they have a panic button on their hip. They just press the button, and lights and sirens come on where they're in their area where they're at, and then help comes. We can do the same thing for every city in America. Small towns don't really need it. So what I'm saying is this. So every single citizen is issued one of those things. You can put it on your keychain. You can put it on your wrist like a watch, a lanyard, maybe the back of your phone, and you flip a little thing and then hit a red button. And that's it. And then right in your general vicinity, lights and sirens go off. Maybe a camera turns on, and it only turns on when that button's pushed. So they're not spying on you. And make sure it can't get hacked. Or there's some anti-hacking thing. Anyway. And then the police are notified immediately. And they can see from the camera what's going on. Now, what does that do? 90 to 95% of the criminals, the moment that happens, as soon as they're going to take off, especially if they know that the camera's now turned on, they're gone. And so if that keeps happening, and they see that they can't go out and commit a crime without being caught, especially now, the thing is, they do need to be prosecuted. They can't be just let go. That happens, crime is going to drop dramatically, especially your carjackings and your drug dealers. They're not going to be sitting on the corner dealing drugs. You see them, you press your button. Yeah, that guy right there, dealing drugs. So, I think the vast majority of violent crime and all crime altogether would just be dropped like a stone. And so you can privatize that as well. So you can have private security companies, like each city has one company that takes care of the whole city. And so they just charge a very minor fee, like $5 a month, right? Each business pays, I don't know, $100 a month or whatever. You figure out what it's going to be to just run the system. It wouldn't be a lot. Maybe less. Maybe $20 a year or something. Annual fee for each person or something like that. Nothing. For your safety, I mean, please. Because you'd be talking about millions of dollars, and all they would need to do is just keep maintenance up with that equipment, and then have it connected with the police. So tell me what you think about that idea. I've had that in mind for a long time, and I've actually been trying to get the word out, trying to contact politicians, but I don't know. It's a tough thing to get a hold of people. So comment on any of the stuff that I was saying. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of faith that any of it would ever be implemented. But I think if you did all those things, it could save the country altogether, But yeah, just tell me what you think. And this is Memorial Day weekend, so God bless those who served this country, who fought and died or have injuries, and let's pray for the men and women that are out in the Gulf there, and Iran rather, that they have no more casualties. So thank you very much. God bless you.